Greetings everyone, Garnet Schulhauser here. For those of you who are not familiar with me, I am a QHHT practitioner, a level 2 practitioner. Now QHHT is short for Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique, which is a hypnosis modality developed over a period of many years by Dolores Cannon. Now in a QHHT session, a client is induced into the deepest level of hypnotic trance known as the theta level. There are two parts to a QHHT trance. The first part is a past life regression, and the second part deals with connecting to the client's higher self to get the answers to the questions the client has brought with them to the session. If you'd like more information about QHHT, please visit my website, which is Garnet Schulhauser, QHHT.com. But before we get to the serious topic of today, I'd like to relate to you a funny story I heard recently. It seems at the end of a funeral service, the pallbearers were carrying a casket out of the church. As they neared the back of the church, they accidentally bumped the casket into the wall. Well, to their surprise, they heard a moan from inside. When they opened the casket, they found the man was still alive. He jumped out, danced a jig, and lived for another 10 years before eventually keeling over. Well, at the second service, the casket was again being carried out of the church by the pallbearers. As they neared the back of the church, the deceased man's wife stood up and shouted, "Watch the wall." Now today I'd like to talk about a past life experience by one of my clients in a QHHT session, a past life where he was a Viking warrior. Now, as I mentioned in the first part of a QHHT session, is a past life regression. And this past life can be a past life, a parallel life, or even a future life. Most of the time, my clients' past lives are as humans on planet Earth, but sometimes a client can have a past life as an alien life form on another planet. Now, in this session, a young man named Jason, which is not his real name, easily went into a very deep trance. And when he came off the cloud, he found himself standing on the deck of a longboat. The ship had rows of oars going the length of the ship on either side, and a large rectangular sail hanging from a mast in the center of the ship. He was wearing a short tunic with long baggy trousers and leather shoes on his feet. He guessed that he was in his mid-20s, and he sensed that he was part of a Viking raiding party that was approaching a small fishing village on the northeast coast of England. When the ship was beached in the small harbor, Jason had his spear and his shield, and along with about 50 other Viking warriors, he jumped onto the beach and marched into the village. Someone in the village had raised the alarm, and this raiding group was met by a group of the village men who were armed with swords and spears, and a violent battle ensued. Jason fought bravely and managed to kill 2 of the village men himself, while suffering only a minor flesh wound on his left thigh. Although the village men fought bravely, they were soon overwhelmed by the fierce Viking warriors, and they all perished in the battle. As soon as the last defender had been killed, the Viking warriors moved toward the houses in the village to reap their reward, which was rape, plunder, and pillage. Each of the warriors chose a different house, and whatever they found in that house was theirs to plunder, including any women they found in the house. Jason chose a small house near the edge of the village. Jason peered into the dimly lit room. He noticed no one except for a young woman cowering in the corner. As Jason got closer, he could see that she was a very beautiful young woman with large brown eyes, long brown hair, and a trembling lip. The young woman was fearful that Jason would rape her, and so she trembled in the corner, hoping that he would be merciful. But when Jason looked into her tearful eyes, he saw only kindness and innocence, and he could not bring himself to molest her. When Jason moved forward to another important day in the life that he was viewing, he was standing in the village square about to get married. His blushing bride was the young woman that he had encountered when they first had entered the village. She was beaming with pleasure, thrilled to be marrying this handsome and fearful young Viking warrior. Jason explained that after the initial raid, he and several other of the Vikings had stayed behind in the village to establish a Viking outpost. And now he hoped to get married to this lovely young lady, settle down, and raise a family. When Jason came out of the trance, he said he was very thankful he had been kind to the young lady in the village they had raided, because he realized that his wife in that Viking life was his current wife in his current life. And now he understood why he had an immediate connection with his current wife when he met her several years ago, because she was his wife in that Viking lifetime. Well, that's all for now, folks. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So long for now. Enjoy your journey, and remember to keep on dancing.